Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the Unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked?
Works as well, Gina. Let's kick off this show.
All right, we have some incredible guests today on The Real Raw. She is one heart-centered, growth-minded, impactful woman who is here on video with us today, Andrea Coutinho, a partner at Mitchell Silberberg and NUP in Corporate and Business Transactions Practice Group. She helps women and girls who've been trafficked out of Cambodia and other developing countries through the Together Heart Foundation. And she also serves in the National Investment Banking Association and is on the WABC Legal Watch team, a Saturday morning radio show. Welcome, Andrea, from my heart to yours. We had an incredible conversation. I'm so glad to meet you. Welcome to The Real Raw.
Thank you so much. I am so delighted and psyched to be here. And it really was great getting to know you yesterday, or was it the day before? You're wonderful. You're wonderful. And right back out to you with those kind words. I'm delighted to be here and psyched.
And Andrea, what is your fun fact?
Well, let's see. My fun fact is, as young as I am, I know lyrics to most music from the 40s because my dad, who was born in 1935, always bursts into song. Like it's like living in a Broadway show, the way I grew up. So I know lyrics to song. He was singing when he was 5-6 years old. So he knows all of this. No one my age knows lyrics to that music. Nobody. I mean, I like.
So what is your favorite song from the 40s that you like to sing?
Oh my God, please don't make me.
I will make you.
At Last, and that's not a 40 song.
At Last. Awesome. Yeah. Gina, who else we got?
Wow, we have Bria Kilson. She's been practicing for 17 years. You don't even look like, I thought you were 25. How could you be practicing for 17 years? Mostly in the area of commercial bankruptcy law. She's a regular speaker on all things related to commercial bankruptcy. She's here with us today. Welcome, Bria Kilson.
Bria, thank you so much for being here and joining us as a participant. And what is your fun fact?
I guess, my fun fact is that I'm almost 44 and people think I'm 20s. So I always joke I should go into those traveling circuses, the guess my age games, and see if I can make some money.
That is a positive problem to have.
I know.
Most people would like to be 40 and look like they're 20.
Yeah, so I got carded at a rated R movie when I was in my 20s.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Gina, who else we got?
All right, we got some judges. Bella, Mr. Josh Buckner. He is from my neck of the woods, is a partner. Well, actually, he's more up north too. He's a little, he's in New Jersey here, but has offices down by me, up by Sean, co-chair of the litigation department, head of cannabis law practice group, community association law and bankruptcy practice groups at Ansel, Grimm, and Aaron. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you. Very nice to be here.
Welcome. And what
I'm
is
waiting
your
for
fun
Bella to yell at me for a fun fact.
fact? And I'm not even yelling this time.
I
What is
know.
your fun fact?
I have the ignominious distinction of spending my whole life living within 5 miles of Interstate 95, from Boston to Miami and Washington, Brooklyn, DC, Virginia, and other points in between. I can't seem to get away from the interstate.
Okay, so Bella, 95 is like the road, all the way up the East Coast. You know about that?
I do know about that because I now live on the East Coast, Gina.
Okay.
I now live in Florida and I also live 5 miles off the 95. So I actually did know that because I am an East Coaster now. So that is a fun fact. And Josh, thank you so much for being here. Do you prefer Josh or Joshua?
Josh is fine, thanks.
Josh is fine. Okay, awesome. Welcome. Gina, who else do we have?
We have Melanie Hawk. She's a super woman who has turned her tribulations into triumph and helps others do the same. She is an award-winning real estate investor. She met you guys down in Key West, or heard you guys in Key West. She's an Airbnb host, coach, property manager, founder of Why Not Me, and which is in honor of her 2-year-old son who was diagnosed with brain cancer in 2014. It was her wake-up call that she needed in life, and he's doing well. So she created Why Not Me to help people, create the life that they dream of. Welcome. What an honor, privilege to have you here, Melanie. Welcome to The Real Raw.
Thanks, guys. So great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I love your energy, Melanie, and what an amazing cause that you stand for. And what is your fun fact?
My fun fact is that when I was 18 years old, I was on Family Feud. So as a judge, if I throw out a few good answers, then that's what it comes from.
That's hilarious.
I love it. Now, Melanie, if you were in Family Feud and you were up against Peter Swain, who just figured out how to turn someone's camera on from across the world,
good answer.
How do you think you would fare in Family Feud against Peter Swain?
I don't know, man. That was legit. And I didn't even see him looking at anything. He was just like, do this. I mean, he just was a magician over there.
He's kind of a smart dude. Thank you, Melanie, for being here. And Gina, who's our final judge?
Our final judge is the partner with the law firm Decotis, Fitzpatrick, Cole, and Giblin, where he practices a broad range. He's co-chair of the American Bar Association's litigation section subcommittee and co-editor of the American Bar Association's intellectual property newsletter. And he is here with us today. Welcome, John Stone, to The Real Raw.
Welcome, John. You're on mute. There you are. Hello, John.
Hi. Thanks.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And what is your fun fact?
Well, this was difficult, but I've decided that the most important fun fact would be that birch beer is much better than root beer. And this is a very important issue that I wish to spread nationally.
And
I agree wholeheartedly.
Birch beer.
Have you ever had birch beer? It's really good.
And it's delicious. If you've ever smelled a birch tree, that's what birch beer tastes like. It's delicious. You have to break a branch and smell it. It's like wintergreen, right? Isn't that kind of the flavor?
Yeah, it's good. And if you become an aficionado, you will find that creamy red birch beer is better than regular birch beer.
Now, is this something that you can find in New Jersey? Can you find birch beer in New Jersey?
You could get it by the keg.
Yeah. It's around here. I don't know about anywhere else.
You can get it by the keg.
Very important.
Oh, well, fantastic.
When I grew up, there were kegs of beer and kegs of birch beer at Shongum Lake for the families that lived at the lake. So that's how I know birch beer. It came in a keg.
Peter, we're going to have some birch beer.
I'm ordering a birch beer party.
You ready? You ready?
He's ordering it.
I'm on it.
Awesome. And And so Gina, who's next?
Yeah. Well, the sales sorceress, you know, her name is Bella Verita. And she started selling crafts on her front lawn as a
crafts, not crack. Let's be clear. Not say crack.
Not say crack. No.
Okay. Let's be clear, because that's what I thought I heard, and I did not sell crack on my front lawn.
I thought that's what I heard as well. I was like, this is new. I've known you
This is
for a year.
kidding. Yes, I did not sell crack.
This woman started selling crafts on her front lawn when she was 8 years old. And in her teen years, she grew into somebody that became a 7-figure income earner in network marketing. And let me tell you something, that is not easy to do at that age. She has immense heart, incredible gravitational pull. She's filled with fun energy all the time and really stands for everyone's truth, for love for everyone. And she took her huge talent to become the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada. And today she is CEO of Align Sales, which is emerging into Align Talent, where she takes professionals into the space of business development and acceleration to make magic happen in people's money and time. The one and only Bella Verita, your role player today. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Actually, not the role player today, because I got shoes to fill for Mr. Callaghy. Mr. Callaghy had a baby yesterday, and so he is usually here. But I think, understandably, he is not here, taking a couple of days with his new baby girl, and so we have an extraordinary, such an honor and a privilege for me to be here with you guys, because what is so incredible about what it is that we're doing is there is a formula, and that formula is duplicatable, and we'll have some opportunities to explore that in this call. And standing in, we have another fantastic ecosystem partner with Unblinded, the Peter Swain, who was like here at the beginning of the internet, was number 32 on Yahoo, creator of Yelp, had some clients, you may have heard of them, like I don't know, Google, Microsoft. You might have heard of some of these. And recently, as part of Business Mastery, led a fundraiser that raised nearly $500,000 for the American Foundation for the Blind in as little as 3 days, winning for the third time in the row Business Mastery with Tony Robbins. So, Peter, it is an honor and a privilege to have you with us today.
My pleasure. And before I give you my fun fact, I'm disappointed with you, Bella.
Well, what did I do now, Peter Swain?
Well, yes, and there's a phrase in Unblinded, it's all Bella's fault, and in this case, it actually is. I'm trying to get that.
And when you say it's a phrase in Unblinded, really it's a phrase from Peter Swain. But please continue.
But in the same way that John is on a mission to make Birch Beer like a thing, I'm on a mission to make It's All Bella's Fault a thing. So if I keep saying it and say it's an Unblinded thing, eventually it will just worm people's heads. Why am I disappointed with you? Yesterday, you said, listen, Sean's a bit busy. I didn't know what it was, and Can you jump on and be Sean? I'm like, oh, great. Like, that's the hardest role to fill. Why don't I just wake up as Steve Jobs, Bella? Sure. And then you go, oh, and P.S., it's Cinco de Mayo, which is not a thing in the UK. So I'm like, I'm running around, ask my wife, where can I get a sombrero? She's like, you want a sombrero? I'm like, yeah, I need a sombrero. I'm like, okay, I'll just put the background. Today, I see you are devoid of outfit. You are devoid of headdress. And it's National Nurses Day.
I was wondering about the background.
I did not know it was National Nurses Day, Peter.
It's also National Alcoholic Beverage Day, and I'm wondering if that's fortuitous that it's on the same day. I tried to find one of a nurse with a keg, and I thought that was maybe a little bit disrespectful. So I just went for nurses, but I don't see you in a nurse's outfit. I don't see you in a nurse's hat. I'm just disgusted.
I'm so sorry.
She didn't get the memo.
I did not get the memo.
Yeah, well, I've now subscribed to the National Day of calendar, so if I ever get called back in, I'm ready.
You're ready to go. Well, you're going to be an American one of these days because you're coming to America.
I am. I'm on my way. I'm just glad it wasn't like National Cheesy Friday or something. Otherwise, the background. But it is National Nurses Day, and I do think they're a group of people that deserve to be honoured and remembered because I think they do amazing work in this world.
100%. I agree.
My fun fact. And we didn't get yours, Barrow.
Yes, we didn't get your fun fact. I was just going to say that too.
My fun fact is that I once, whilst very drunk, tried to pitch Simon Cowell outside a hotel. And when I called him Sir Simon and he said, "I'm not a sir," I proceeded to pinch his cheek and go, "Not yet, son, positive mental attitude," and then kissed him on the forehead. And I'm not surprised to tell you, he didn't call back the next day.
Shocker.
Yeah. My influence mastery skills were maybe off a smidgen on that day, but I did get the pitch, so I at least got that far. Bella, what's your fun fact?
Well, since we're on the subject of alcohol, Peter Swain, my not so fun fact might have been I might have had a little too much tequila yesterday. I might have gotten sick in John Kelly's car, and I might have missed my flight out of New Jersey. That might have all happened yesterday.
And you might have not remembered to call me back.
That's probably true too. I tried to cram a whole Cinco de Mayo evening of celebration with Nicole Maiello into like 30 minutes. Was not a good idea. So
yeah, but let's just be accurate. You said I tried to cram it in. You succeeded.
I did.
By the sounds of it, you succeeded in cramming an entire Cinco de Mayo into 30 minutes.
I definitely
just had some repercussions.
I will not repeat that again. So now I have no idea.
Great. So
well, yes, exactly. You look fresh and beautiful as ever, Bella. So no one would have known.
Thank you. It has definitely taken some work today, I will tell you. But let's get this show on the road. Gina, thank you so very much. Any final from you before you go?
Final, just so grateful to be a part of this incredible Unblinded multiverse, and welcome all of you. Buckle up. This is an incredible opportunity to up-level your influence skills, to unpack your influence as a superpower. We're glad you're all here, and have fun. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you, Gina.
Bye.
All right. Bria, Andrea, are we ready?
I guess.
All right. Andrea.
Yes.
So Peter Swain will be anyone that you want him to be.
Oh.
For you to go from hello to yes. This is a 6-minute conversation, bifurcated in half, 3 minutes on the front end, 3 minutes on the back end. The first part is just about building emotional rapport, getting to know Peter, and then we'll come back from a second round to be able to get that yes. And
question.
So Peter,
does this have it doesn't have to do anything per se with my profession. It can be any way I want him to say yes, or can it be within my world? What do you suggest?
Anything that you want.
Okay.
So it can be your profession. It could be, a book signing deal, like whatever it is. Whatever meaningful yes that you are seeking in the world, and you would like to go from hello to yes and possibly get some feedback on. So, who would you like Peter to be?
I would like Peter to be the CEO of a growing company that wants to go public.
This is a very good role for Peter Swain. Peter, I feel like this is exactly who you are. It should be a very easy role for you.
Put me in, coach.
All right, let's go. Take us in, Andrea.
Peter, hello. It's so great to meet you. Andrea Coutinho. I'm a partner with MSK. I know you know us because our friend Larry introduced us last week. I really want to get to know a little bit more about the path that you're perceiving over the next 6 months, because there are 2 or 3 different ways that I think we can take you public while really preserving equity in your company. And I know that that's important to you. So can you give me a little bit of background on when you started the company and how many owners there are now? And I'm going to fast track on a couple of different options that I think would be great for you. And by the way, I can also connect you with some very trustworthy investors that I can not only vouch for, I can give you some background on some other deals that they've done, again, with the intention of being your advocate. I'm all about being your advocate.
I like advocates, but Andrea, remind me who you are again. I recognize the name. Sorry, I take a
Andrea Coutinho. I'm a corporate and securities attorney, and I assist in helping companies go public in the most streamlined manner while helping them to make the best possible connections and not give away the store. A lot of times when companies raise money, they are just not educated properly about, and you are obviously, but I'm often encountering companies that just don't have the experience. And there are vultures out there, shall I say, that might be willing to provide you with the financing you need, but might not be asking you a lot of upfront questions. So I want to learn, what are your 3 objectives over the next 6 months? And I'll do my best to address your needs and help you get to where you want to go.
Yeah, I want to make sure that the co-founder that left unceremoniously after year 1 is not recognized in this deal in any meaningful way. I want to make sure that the people we brought in their place are recognized in a meaningful way. That's number 1. And number 2, number 3, I want to make sure that not only am I obviously clearing money on this, but I don't want to get in a handcuff situation where I've got to stay around afterwards. I'm sure I will stay around for a bit, but I don't want it to be like 3 years and my money gets tied up and all that kind of stuff.
Completely understood. Well, first, to address this person who left unceremoniously or who you really don't want to have involved at all in this deal, I need to study his documents, his relationship documents with the company. But there are things that I could either convince him to do, or there are ways that we can reverse split your current ownership so that he has virtually nothing. And it really has to be justifiable. I don't want to take away someone's interest.
Excuse me, Peter.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Your co-founder is on the phone claiming he owns 100% of the business and you have no right to be selling anything. I think you're going to need to take this call.
God damn this schmuck. All right, Andrea, I'll be back with you in 30 seconds.
Happy to be on a conference call. If you'd like me to mediate, I'm here for you.
Thank you.
Great job, Andrea. Great job. All right, Bria, are you ready?
Sure.
And who would you like Peter Swain to be?
The owner of a business that's contemplating filing for bankruptcy.
From one extreme to the other.
Cradle to grave.
This sounds like my real life. Let's do it.
All right, Bria, take us in.
Hi, my name is Bria Kielsen. Here to talk to you about why you are contemplating putting your company into bankruptcy. I want to make sure that you understand the benefits, the drawbacks, and that you fully considered everything and kind of get more of an understanding about the financial situation of your company. So if you can just explain a little bit about the company, the debt, any secured debt, and any goals that you have for putting your company into bankruptcy.
Before I do that, sorry, Bria, I recognize the name, but how did you get my name?
I actually was talking to a friend who represents a lender of your company, and had said that you had discussions with them about potentially filing because you're not able to pay the debt.
Okay, does that put you in a conflict or?
No, bankruptcy is a very referral heavy area, and so I don't represent the lender. It was just a friend who said that you might be looking for some help with regard to that.
Well, I think I'm not that shy about this, and I'll try and keep it non-blue because we haven't met each other yet, but we went into COVID with solid plans. We were a IT provider to the hospitality space. So we made money per booking. We made about $3.50 per booking. In 2018, we did 480 million turnover. By 2020, we were doing millions, not hundreds of millions turnover. And the business I thought was capitalized well and secured well next to the turnover we were doing. And I don't think anyone predicted COVID. So we're now in a situation where we've got the debts of a company that's turning over 480 million that's now turning over 4.8 million. And I seem to have 2 choices: make it bankrupt or jump off a cliff. I'm going for the make it bankrupt option instead of the jump off a cliff. Okay. I've got to admit, I don't really care what happens. I just got to get out of this nightmare.
Do you have any personal guarantees, or are you personally tied to any of the debt?
Yeah, I will have to go personally bankrupt in this as well, I would imagine.
Okay.
To Venezuela, one of the 2.
Yeah. Well, we can certainly talk about that, and I can give you names to help you on the personal side. So you don't see an end or a kickback once things open back up again. I'm sure it will. Just I've lost my wife in this process now. I haven't got anything left to lose. I can't go any further. There is only literally, when I say jump off a cliff, I'm only being slightly sarcastic.
if this carries on, I gotta be out. Yeah, sorry, but I'm getting into my story here, Bella. You interrupt me. I told you I don't want to be interrupted.
And she says she wants you back. She'll do anything in the world. I think you better take this call.
That's a call we can take. Okay, Bria, I'll be back in a minute or 5, depending on what happens.
Yeah.
And then it's Bria. I want to apologize because I'm Bria and it's Bria. Is that right?
Yes.
I apologize that I was saying that wrong, Bria. Great job for jumping in and just taking the bulls by the horn. Phenomenal job. Are you ready for some feedback from the judges?
Sure.
All right. Melanie, let's start with you. 30 seconds of feedback for Andrea, and then we'll do 30 seconds of feedback for Bria. Something she did great, something that you'd recommend some improving on, and then a score from 1 to 10.
Okay. I think is it Andrea or Andrea?
Andrea, thank you.
Andrea, I think I loved your energy. I loved how you made sure that it kind of sounded like you were trying to make sure that he was the decision maker at the beginning to make sure it was even the right person to talk to. But also I know it was partly trying to figure out the dynamics of the role play. But then within the time that was kind of like, okay, but now like what's the real goal is what I would say, to try to get to that point a little bit faster. So it's kind of that.
And your score for Andrea is?
My score for Andrea is a 7.
Awesome. And for Bria?
Yes.
Bria, way to be thrown into the lion's den, man. Way to just get in there and do it. I think I like how straightforward it was, and maybe that's my style, I guess. And so I liked how straightforward it was, get to the point. And then, I thought you utilized the time well, and I would give you an 8.
Beautiful. Thank you, Melanie. And Josh, your feedback for Andrea.
Andrea, I thought you did great. I loved your enthusiasm. I'm not sure I've seen many corporate and securities attorneys exhibit such enthusiasm for their work, so that was terrific. You certainly made it fun and interesting to discuss going public with Peter, and I think you did a really good job asking some good questions and responding, or starting to respond to his 3 concerns before that unceremoniously departed co-founder got on the line. So it looked like a good potential engagement for you.
And your score for Andrea?
8.
8. Awesome. And for Bria?
Bria, I too appreciate your directness with the issues. You also, though, I thought manifested some nice compassion for Peter when he was talking about the wife and jumping off the cliff, perhaps literally, not figuratively. I don't suspect you do a lot of personal bankruptcy, probably mostly corporate, based on what you said at the outset here. So you probably don't hear a lot of that, but you zoomed right in on it with the personal guarantee issues and the concerns there. And it looked like you'd be a really good resource. And I noted you suggested you might have a referral to help him out personally with those issues while you would assist with the corporation. So you kind of, in a very short time, addressed all of his concerns.
Awesome feedback. Josh, and your score for Bria?
Also an 8.
Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you for that feedback. Incredible feedback. And John, your feedback for Andrea.
I also like the enthusiasm, and I particularly like that you very quickly conveyed what you can do for him, which is good. So that, when people go to somebody for help, they like to know that you can help them, and you got that in there quick, and I thought that was quite good. So I give it an 8. And for Bria, same score. What I liked is you are calm in the face of somebody who, has every reason not to be calm if what he said was accurate. So it's when people are upset and they go to you, I think it's, you want to have empathy with what they're upset about, but you don't want to be carrying on, because that's not the stability they need. So I thought your demeanor was very good. So I give them both an 8.
Beautiful. Thank you for.
It's some more generous marking than yesterday, isn't it?
It is a bit generous.
Yesterday we had some 6s. I'm like, oh, that's tough. That's tough.
They were channeling their inner Simon Cowell yesterday. Maybe since you brought up Simon Cowell today, everybody thought they would, just simmer down a little bit.
Well, maybe it's because we started with nurses and everyone lent more into their heart. Maybe that was a deliberate ploy by me. Maybe not. Who knows?
That Peter's a pretty smart guy.
I still want to know how Peter didn't end up in the drunk tank after he kissed Simon on the forehead.
Oh, once the show's, I will happily tell you that story another day because it's.
There has to be more to that story.
Involves women of the night, Russian gangsters. It's an very, very impressive London 6-star hotel night. It was a good one.
That sounds like a Tuesday.
Oh, well, thank you to all of the judges. And so we're going to come back and we're going to go in reverse order. And we're going to start with Brian this time. So Peter is back from talking to his wife, and maybe she won't be an ex-wife anymore. And maybe we can get this bankruptcy thing all worked out so he doesn't jump off a cliff.
Hey, Brian. Right. Well, good news is my wife's back. So I no longer want to jump off a cliff. So that's a good start. So how do we unpack this? I still think it's a business to close, because I think hospitality is going to take a long time to come back. I don't think it's going to be anything immediate. And the interest is just racking up every day. I would be in disservice to myself, my company, my employees, if I drag this out any longer. It's not viable. So what do we do?
Okay. Have you thought about selling the business? Have you talked to any prospective buyers or any investors at all?
Yeah, unfortunately, the hotel space, 97.8% of all online bookings are made by Booking.com and Expedia. So it's utterly locked off. The only reason they'd ever buy us is to stop us operating, because we're a pain in their butt. But they've got the cash to ride this out. So I don't see the tech itself can be sold. And the client list, which was really the value, is, well, half the hotels will probably go bankrupt as well.
Okay. So I think what we can do is start by collecting information. Would gather a list of all of your creditors, amounts, try to get a handle on what your creditors may know, may not know, how far behind you are in terms of paying those creditors and those bills, and gather everything together and try to really think through. You just want a straight liquidation. If you're willing to turn over the keys and just be done with it, then perhaps Chapter 7 makes more sense. It sounds like that's the way you want to go. You just want to turn over the business to a third party and have them deal with it. Is that what you're thinking?
I think so. I'd like to sit at home for a couple of weeks and unpack this and return to being a reasonable person, because I've put a lot of pressure on the people around me around this.
Okay. Is there anything that's happened that you feel you should share with me in terms of hiding things, potential fraud, anything that if somebody were to investigate may come up with an issue for you?
I'm thinking. No. I think that we were aggressive on our projections when we did the borrowing, but I don't think that was in a fraudulent space. That was in a everything's going great space, not in a we're trying to deceive people. Looking back on it, there's points of naivety, but I would doubt that they're points of legality.
Okay. Yeah, one of the things in a Chapter 7 is a trustee takes over and investigates every potential cause of action. So before we were to do that, I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable and that there isn't anything that potentially could be an issue.
No skeletons here, just a company that flew too close to the sun and all that.
Okay. Okay. So it may be a relatively easy process in terms of we'll get everything together, fill out the necessary schedules, and then a trustee will step in and take over completely and kind of deal with the business side of it. And then we can try to get someone to help you with the personal side if it seems like that might be something that we would need to do.
Awesome job, Brian. Awesome job. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. No, it was good to kind of talk through, and because we feel a lot of times we don't know what the potential client has done. And so we'll have to dig more. I would have to dig more, but into the background, but because oftentimes you'll find, oh, wait a minute, they didn't actually do that, or they lied about this and they didn't accurately put things in their schedule. So
yeah. Awesome job. Awesome job. All right, Andrea, Peter is back from talking the business partner who knows what's going on. Are you ready to take us in?
Sure.
All right.
Hey, Andrea. Sorry about that.
No worries at all. No worries at all. So did you have a conversation with the prior CEO?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it really a conversation. He said some things. I threatened to kill him. Standard everyday fare. At the end of the day, we founded this together. He slept with my wife, and I suggested that he should leave, and he said yes. That was during a vested period. If that's not the definition of a bad leaver, I don't know what is. So he hasn't had anything to do with this company for years.
How many years?
4.
Okay. And when was the company founded? How long ago?
2017, 2016.
Okay. And you had indicated, I think through Larry, I had learned that this is a Delaware corporation. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a Delaware corporation. We were both co-founders and both directors, but the equity was held by the company and then vested to us. So he left before his vesting came about. He's claiming that I forced him out. I'm claiming that he was a bad leaver.
So how many shareholders are there? Is it just the 2 of you who are the owners of the company?
No, there's been 4 other people brought in since. So we're the 2 original co-founders, and then 4.
Have they invested, or were they given shares for their services?
3 of them invested, 1 of them didn't.
Okay, understood. And how much I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the co-founder.
Bob Zizak.
Okay, Bob. So
you can just call him scumbag if you want.
Okay, understood. So he's held on to these shares. I'm just wondering if there's any type of employment agreement that exists with the company where
we were
going forward.
2 kids in a garage. Like it wasn't that kind of a thing at the time.
So there was no shareholder agreement that was drafted whereby you would have a right of first refusal if one of you wanted to sell your interest. There's nothing like that exists.
I could backdate it and pretend there was, but
not a good idea, especially since we're planning on helping you raise capital. What I'm going to really help you do is have a pristine data room. Your corporate governance it really has to be in very good order. So there can be no surprises. We want to make sure everything is explainable, and we want to get ahead of some of these issues. And we may want to together explore ways to buy Bob out, particularly since he's had nothing to do with the company, but he was a founder. He must have contributed something. I understand you're angry with him, but perhaps we could explore some of these ways that you could buy him out. Or like I had indicated earlier, there are ways that you can reverse split all of the ownership interest of everyone, but it has to be done for a good reason. And if everyone else is willing to pay in some capital, we would have probably a much more comfortable legal position to boost everyone else's position. And then the next few steps, I need to really ascertain more from you about if you had the money we spoke of, the $5 to $10 million, what would you do?
Great job. How was that for you?
Aside from my phone occasionally ringing, I thought it was good. I felt that we were getting to know each other a little bit better, and that always helps. It always helps to understand some of the backstory.
Beautiful. So in a moment, someone's going to have the opportunity to put someone else on the hot spot, but I wanted to give Melanie, since she's got to go. You've got to go, right, Melanie?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, so before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and let you give some feedback to Bria, 30 seconds feedback to Bria, 30 seconds feedback to Andrea. We'll say goodbye to you, and then we'll reverse this reverse roles here in just a minute. So any feedback that you want to offer for Bria?
Yeah, Bria, another awesome job. I love that you're just getting to the nitty, the gritty. Because of the time, kind of a pain. But to get to that actual asking I'm blanking on the word. Sorry, I still have COVID brain. But like the actual yes or no, give them the yes or no, getting them to that point, and actually so that you can close it. Obviously with the time. So I would give you. I'm switching it up. I'm gonna give you a 7, and then with
and then for Andrea.
Andrea, just your energy, but you're also your ability to bring it down and to like really relate is really something special, and you do a great job of that. And obviously there were some pretty big curveballs thrown at you, including the phone in the background, and you were awesome. You kept your cool and you did great, and I could tell you were trying to get to where you wanted to like really close it, which I thought you did an excellent job of. So I will give you an 8.
Thanks. Awesome. Thank you, Melanie. And Melanie, how was your time on The Real Raw?
It was great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here, and we'll look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Mr. Peter Swain, where are you?
Back.
There you are. All right, Mr. Peter Swain, do I have a 1 or a 2 under the table today?
A 1.
You always get it. It's so impressive.
Do you know what the secret is?
What is the secret?
Do you honestly want to know?
Yeah.
Right, your fingers are, the tendons in your fingers are in 2s. So if you try and do one finger, it feels uncomfortable. Right, do it now, it feels a bit uncomfortable. So 2 fingers is more comfortable. So if somebody's doing it off the bat, they'll always do 2 fingers, not 1, because 1 is actually a harder movement. But because you did 2 yesterday, you'd have done 1 today.
You're one smart dude, Peter Swain.
No, I just overthink everything.
Yeah, you are one smart dude. Brian, so you get the opportunity to either put myself or Peter Swain in the hot seat to go through a role play, and you get to choose any scenario that you want either one of us to go from hello to yes on. So would you like to put myself or Mr. Peter Swain in the hot seat?
Peter.
All right, and what would you like Peter to go from hello to yes on? And he can go from hello to yes with you, with me, or anybody else here today.
Root beer is better than birch beer. Get someone to agree with him.
Okay. That root beer is better than birch beer?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay, and who would you like him to role play this with?
John.
John. Oh, this is going to be fun, Peter. This is going to be fun.
This is all right. This is interesting. Okay. All right, and who is John in this context then? Because he still needs to get to a yes.
Like food and drink critic? I don't know. Okay. You're trying to convince him.
A food and drink critic. Okay. So you want a meaningful, it's a bit of fake confusion here. As I find myself
he's in some fake confusion.
Seconds. So you want me to persuade John, who's a food critic that loves birch beer, that root beer is better. Is that right?
That is correct. You are not confused.
Okay. That's all I could come up with in 2 seconds.
All right. Bring.
There's a formula.
I'm all right.
All right, take us in.
Okay. Right. Hey, is that John?
Yes. Hi.
Hey, John. My name is Peter Swain. We haven't spoken before. I was wondering if I could just literally grab 3 minutes of your time, and if I'm a pain in your butt, you'll never hear from me again.
That's fine.
Is that okay? So I understand that I've read your article recently in the New York Times, and you're a pretty prolific food critic. Am I speaking to the right person?
I guess that's me. Yes, thanks.
Wow. So I got to ask, like, you have a fascination with birch beer, which is phenomenal and amazing. Where does that come from?
Well, when I grew up, we would often have very good times at the New Jersey Shore, and the New Jersey Shore had birch beer. And birch beer wasn't in northern New Jersey back then. And my father introduced me to it, and we would savor it and agree that it was much better than root beer. And we couldn't understand why it wasn't more widespread.
Wow. So this goes all the way back to holidays with your dad.
Yep, it's ingrained in me from childhood, but I've continued to enjoy it as I got older, yes.
Okay, that's phenomenal. And so why the New Jersey Shore?
Well, if you're asking me why we were going there, it's because it's a nice place to go. The beach is a great place. And I don't know why it's so prevalent there and not other places. I mean, maybe there's birch trees nearby the shore. I don't really know.
Birch trees nearby the shore. Thank you. I'd have been thinking about that all day long. So that's awesome. So, do you mind if I tell you a bit about myself quickly?
That would be great. Thanks.
So, my name is Peter Swain, and I actually used to be part of the Craft Beer Association, which is why I was calling you. I actually founded it about 15 years ago and set it up. And I recently left it. And I think you'll be a bit surprised by this. I recently left it to join a family-run firm that sells root beer, of all things, which is why I called you. And I've got to be honest with you, I don't know the first thing about root beer. But what I do know is I walked out of a very high-paid job that had established me in a marketplace where everybody knew me, and I had everything I wanted. And I was sitting with these guys, and I was overwhelmed with the fact that it's been run by the same family in the same generation for 3 generations, that they have employees that have been there for 40 years plus. It's just insane. Their master brewer has been there literally almost since childbirth. And these guys have perfected this. And I'm not going to try and persuade you right here and right now that birch beer and root beer is better, but I'd love to send you a case. And I think that you can maybe look at the craft and the distinction of this. And then I'd love to have a conversation as to whether you think root beer and craft or birch beer is better. So right now, I just want to send you a case. And then let's talk again in a couple of days. And then you'll never hear from me again. How does that sound?
That sounds good. That's
all right?
Yes.
Perfect. John, thank you so much for your time. I'll get that across to you now.
Thanks.
Nicely done. You are not confused, my friend. You are not confused. That literally is the formula. Couldn't have been demonstrated any better. Thank you, Peter Swain. So let's go to the rest of our judges and get the rest of our feedback for Brian and Andrea, and then we'll close this party up. We'll go in reverse order. So John, your feedback for Brian.
Oh, I thought he did great because he.
No, for Brian.
Brian.
The second round for Brian.
I'm confused about what I'm asked. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What do you want to know?
Your feedback for Brian for the second round for Brian.
Oh, I apologize. I misunderstood. Yeah, I thought she did very well because she got into more technical specifics about what she needed to know. And it was productive and demonstrated competence right away. And so I thought it was good.
Awesome. And your score for Brian?
Same. I give it an 8.
Great. And how about for Andrea?
Really the same. A lot of detailed questions so that the other person knows, hey, this person knows what she's talking about and can help me. So I give it an 8 as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, John. And then John, how was your time on the Real Raw today?
It was very good. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And
Bella,
John,
would you like a fun energy intro, like little middle point here?
Sure.
This is great. My wife just came into the office. I've put down the kids to see if I wanted a drink. Just as I was role playing, and my wife just cheated on me.
And your wife what?
Just as I was role playing, my wife cheated on me with Bob Zizak. I just got a text that went, "What the fuck is going on?" I'm like, no, everything's fine. I'm just role playing. It's Bob Zizak. She's like, "Who's Bob Zizak?" I'm like, "No, he's not real either. The whole thing is just a thing."
I thought you were going to say she brought you a birch beer.
Oh dear. I was like, okay, so that was almost a disaster. So thank you. Just thought you'd like that.
Let's not get Peter Swain divorced before he moves to America.
Let's not do that.
Oh, that's hysterical. Okay, Josh, your feedback for Brian.
Brian, I thought you did great. You kind of took him through the whole process of a chapter 7 very quickly. You weren't afraid to ask those tough questions about any kind of insider shenanigans. And I thought you were very effective at considering different options and then taking them down what would be the most reasonable course. So I thought terrific job, and I'm going to stick with my 8.
Beautiful, beautiful. And for Andrea.
Andrea, I was very impressed. You asked a heck of a lot of questions in a very short amount of time to drill down on all of the issues that Peter raised. You had some very thoughtful responses. You too presented a nice path forward, asked some good questions to make sure there weren't any contingencies out there that you weren't aware of. And I thought you were, presented yourself as a great resource to help the company move forward while addressing the issue of, the philandering former co-founder.
Very nice. And your score for Andrea?
I'm going to stick with my 8 there as well.
Very nice. And Josh, how was your time on the Real Raw today?
It was a lot of fun. Very different, really engaging. Peter, I don't know where you're getting all of this from, other than an orifice of your choosing, but it was impressive hearing you do what you do.
Thank you, and I love being on Real Rules with lawyers, Bella, because they have such an amazing vocab. Like Joshua just used the word philandering and an orifice within 7 words of each other. Like, how epic is that?
Of either which of these words, I don't even know what they mean. Sean uses these words all the time, and I have
Another amazing lawyer. Bella, we haven't actually told everyone how amazing Sean is. Are we gonna share that? I mean, he's not here, but
yes, we definitely are in our final for sure.
we're not at final yet. We're just at final.
We're just at final. We're not to the final.
I don't get on the main stage very often, guys. I apologize.
And Andrea, how was your time on the Real Raw?
It was fun, and you guys are great. Like, I would love to have a cocktail with all of you. I thought this was kind of fun, and I think it was a good learning experience too. So thank you, everyone.
I don't think I'm going to be having any cocktails anytime soon, but when I do, I will definitely have one with you. Thank you for being here, Andrea. And Brian, how was your time on the Real Raw today? Thank you for stepping in as a participant.
Sure. Yeah, no, it was fun. Something different, and yeah, definitely enjoyed it.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And Peter, let's tell folks about Monday night, why they want to come and meet like this Sean Callaghy guy.
Oh. I met Sean first in November 2019, and I was at a Tony Robbins event. So I closed the business. I actually went through both the Andrea and the Brit. I went through both these stories in almost the same month. November 2018, I got offered 35 million investment through my company. We were turning over 450 million in hotel software. That's all true. And I suddenly realized that if I carried on, I'd have to tell my daughter something different about what I'd been telling her as a parent versus what I'd been doing as an adult. And that didn't sit very well. So I quit the business and went into a lot of personal development, and was lucky enough to stumble on a stage where Sean Callaghy was speaking. And I texted my wife and I went, I think I've just met the real deal. And I also have no idea how the hell a blind guy walks around a stage the way he does. It's honestly, guys, if you ever see it, it's crazy. Like it's insane. Like how you have more stage range than I do, and I can see. And I went back I was invited to see him and the team in Paramus in January 10, 11, 12 of 2020, and go to the first immersion event. The first one, yes, better. I might not have been to the last two because I've been in COVID lockdown, but I was at the first one. And I texted my wife again and went, he is the real deal. And to me, it's what's what I'd refer to as a safe cracker problem. Of you can go like 12 cracks to the left, and then 14 cracks to the right, and then 18 cracks to the left, and then 7 cracks to the right. And if you didn't go 8 at the end, the safe still doesn't open. You can do everything right, and the safe still doesn't work. And there is absolutely no doubt in the field of influencing people, the 4 people that are here right now have superb natural talent, superlative natural talent. But there is a skill set that can be laid on top of it. And there's a skill, and as soon as it's a skill, it means it can be practiced, and it means it can be increased and enhanced and learned to the stage where you can go, please go hello to yes on root beer versus birch beer, and you've got 3 minutes, go, because it's no longer about the talent. It's about, okay, how do I map that to the formula? Now, I might have done a good job or a bad job or a great job, but it's a point of learning the things. So to me, Sean is many things. You know, he's had 2 top 100 trial verdicts. He built his own law firm on a credit card, 100K in debt. He sold that one. He built another one that has, I think, close to 200 employees now. He's won prizes galore. He spoke on Tony Robbins' stage. He's raised 1.8 million. He holds the record for the amount of money raised on stage for Tony Robbins. He just did what he did in Key West again. He consistently proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that what he's teaching has merit. And he's an awesome dude. So I'm proud to call him a teacher. I'm proud to call him a friend. And I'm proud to call him now a partner. Because this is what it looks like. So that's why I was once asked, you know, my final before you tell them about Monday Night, Bella. I was once asked, what would you say to Sean about someone else? And I said, I'd leave my kids with him. That's all I've got for you. I'd leave my kids with him.
That and you know, it's interesting because Dolph DeRoos, who wrote a book and has been on the New York bestsellers list for 7 months in the space of real estate. And Dolph DeRue said the same thing. If Dolph was not able to be in a room, the only other person he would trust is Sean, and he would trust Sean with his kids. And Tony Robbins said that there's nobody that leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callaghan. And yes, he's a top 100 national jury verdict trial. Yes, he's $1.8 million. He can go from hello to yes in any room, and he unpacks that formula on Monday night. And so everyone that comes on The Real Raw, our gift back to you is that you get to come on to a private event with Sean on Monday night where he unpacks the formula, because what Peter Swain did in that role play from going from hello to yes, anybody can do. I can do, you can do, and it's all about getting more yeses in the world so that we can have more time, more money, more magic. So if you don't want any more time, you don't want any more money, and you don't care to have any more magic in your life, then you may want to skip Monday night. But if you want any of those one things or all of those things, you definitely want to come back on Monday night. One of our team members will reach out to you, get you confirmed for Monday night, make sure we have a spot for you. So you definitely want to take that call. You want to come back and meet Sean and hear what he has to say from the formula, the four steps, the 4 energies, and the 12 indispensable elements. You definitely want to know what those are so you can have more time, money, and magic. And so just thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining Peter Swain and I from all around the world. And Peter, thank you again for joining me today. And Peter, we are all blind.
Learning to see.
Just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care. Nice to meet everyone.
Same. Bye.